Hey guys, and welcome to Tip Tuesday. So I want to share something with you. For so many of us as entrepreneurs, we have a lot of things happening, right? Whether it is you have more than one business that you're operating, or whether you have your corporate job and you have your own personal business. But either way, regardless of what is happening, you have a lot of things happening. And as such, what I want to share with you is just a way in which you can clear the clutter in your mind, so you can have a clearer path as to what your day holds. So this is usually how I used to write up my activities. So I would have everything on my flip chart, my whiteboard, which is right here with me. So I can easily see, sit at my desk, turn around, and I see what I'm focusing on. But what this did for me is that it caused me more confusion than anything else. So I would have my 9 to 5, and I erased the stuff that I had on it. I would have my 9 to 5, and I would list all the goals here and separate it. And then I have my coaching business, and I have all my goals here. I have my clothing business, and I have all my goals here. What ended up happening was I'm sitting there, and things happen, things get thrown into your day gets thrown off, it's not going as planned. When I look at this board with all of these things facing me, I started feeling very confused. There were days I felt unaccomplished simply because I was just looking at everything at once. So I decided to change this, and that's what I want to share with you. So I don't know how it is you document your goals for the week, and I really do encourage that you have goals for the week. Don't just write down things to do. Have your goals set out, like what would make my week a success, and then once you write those goals and you take your things to do from that. So I decided to stop doing this. I just wrote it up for illustration purposes. I decided to do away with the long things to do, and I started recording the goals for each of my businesses on separate flip chart paper. So if you don't have a flip chart, that's okay, whether you use a notebook. So I have a notebook here because sometimes I'm sitting there and something's come to mind. I write down. I have a notebook for my personal business. I have a notebook for work. So they're right here with me. So if you have a notebook, you write down what you're focusing on a different sheet of paper. Or if you're using your device, you're using productivity apps, because there are a lot of them out there that are really, really good. Ensure you have a board, because like for some of them that I use, you have a board for work, you have a board for your personal business, or you have a board for work, you have a board for family obligation, you name it. So you're not looking at everything at once and you start feeling a little flustered. So I have them written up. I have to be careful. I recorded this early and I had to remove it because I had some personal stuff, some confidential stuff written, and I had to change it. Anyways, so on these 3 sheets, these papers, I have already written up for each. So what I started doing, I have a sheet. So this is for my corporate. So throughout the day, 9 to 5, all I am looking at is what concerns my 9 to 5. And when I turn around, I'm not looking at this. With everything that is happening in my life, all I'm looking at is just this sheet with my 9 to 5. When my 9 to 5 ends, I just flip it over. So if you're using a notebook, you can skip your page, or if you're using your app, you're just focusing on what's for your personal business. At the end of the day, I then flip over and I go to my coaching business. Or it depends on the day what I'm working on, I might go to my clothing. But it works. It's almost like your brain feeds on what you're giving it. So if I'm giving it this, it is seeing a lot of things happening. Where if I'm just giving it one thing, it's like, all right, it's work time. These are the things. And sometimes you tend to drift because all the things are working in your mind. But the more you practice this, the more you work on just focusing on one thing. I mean, I have my work stuff on the sheet. I'll flip it over at the end. I have my work stuff here, and there are times I'm like, I have this idea for my business that I want to do. I tell myself no. I make a note. I jot it down on my sheet of paper because I'm a writer. For some persons, you may want to type it, you put it in your app, you name it, whatever tool you use. Just dump the idea. We talk about brain dump. Just
dump the idea there, and then you go back to what you're focusing on. So maybe you have things to do around the house. So you may have, but you may have your job, you may have home, you may have family obligation, whatever it is that you have happening. Ensure that you create space and time in your day so you can focus on it. Because when you try to do everything at once, then you start feeling flustered and you start feeling overwhelmed, and then you feel like you're not achieving anything, and then you stop and the cycle continues. So I hope this tip helped you. Go ahead and comment below if it did, and also share it with somebody else who you hear talking about feeling a little overwhelmed or feeling that they have a lot of things happening in their day. Thank you guys for listening, and again, go ahead, comment and share if this helped. And here's to more productive and organized days. Bye.